Camo Dave here with the news. Look at this. Okay, we gotta, I don't get into politics. I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not getting into politics. I'm not getting into politics. But this is an interesting article. This is the Washington Examiner. It is a newspaper that's basically for Capitol Hill. It's a Capitol Hill newspaper. It's like The Hill or Politico kind of thing. If you go to those websites, it's basically, for political wonks, people on Capitol Hill. We know there's a whole lot of talk about the election still. Mr. Biden has been pretty much, he's the president-elect, but Mr. Trump is still complaining that, there was fraud on a large scale throughout much of the country, and, well, whatever. But anyway, this is an interesting article. They're talking about Nevada here, which did also vote. Most of the western states went for Mr. Biden. I mean, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Oregon, Washington, and even Nevada. Okay? So Nevada is very much a swing state. Anyway, one of the interesting paragraphs in this article here is right here. Okay? And I will read it to you. This is from the Washington Examiner. They were talking about election fraud in Nevada, and it said officials said that among the evidence and expert testimony to be presented in Carson City, which is the capital of Nevada. A lot of those people like, what's the capital of Nevada? It's like Las Vegas, Reno. No, it's Carson City. There are indications that over 1,500 ballots were cast by dead voters, which, you get the dead voting in every election. I mean, they do, Grandma died, but she's still on the rolls, the election rolls, and somebody will go vote in her name. That is not legal, but it does happen. Anyway, and they also said that 42,000 people voted multiple times. You would think if that many people voted multiple times, some election poll worker would catch that. But, again. But anyway, here's the other thing. There were a whole lot of people that voted with addresses in temporary RV camps and casinos. Now, that is one of the things that affects the nomads. When you're a nomad, where do you live? You have to, in the United States of America, have some sort of, permanent address. A lot of people go to South Dakota to live, to make their address. So yeah, they have very easy residential rules there. You have to be in a campground like a night or two, and there's no state income tax, and it's very easy to register, to register as a citizen. A lot of people that, they use their campground. They stay in a campground in a number of states. If they're there for, say, more than a month a year, or at least a month a year, or so many weeks a year, you can use that address as your permanent residence, even though you may not live there most of the year. That's what nomads do that. They'll have a friend or a relative somewhere in the country. They use that as their address, even though they may not live there most of the time or any of the time. But you have to have an address. So these, in this at least Nevada case, they're claiming those people are voting fraudulently. They don't really live at the casino. They don't really live in the RV camp. I like how they call it RV camp. So I don't know. My guess is most of those people living in the RV camp, from what I see on my YouTube experience here on my channel, is that most of those people living in RV camps are probably leaning to the conservative side, and those are probably, Trump voters, but they claim now that people aren't supposed to be able to do that. So that would probably take out some of those Trump votes in Nevada. I don't know. So anyway, temporary RV camps and casinos. I didn't know you could register to live in a casino or a casino parking lot or a casino hotel. If you live in a hotel next to a casino and you're there for, say, you're a big heavy gambler like certain nomads we know, can you use that as your home address? I don't know. But it is interesting. You know, one of the problems and one of the things in the United States of America is more and more people are living as nomads, and more people are using ways of getting addresses, and then when you get that address, you can, if you wanted to, if you're registered as a South Dakota resident, you could go up to South Dakota and vote. You could, I don't know, get an absentee ballot from South Dakota and vote. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. Also in an Examiner article from late November, one of the people that are doing an investigation into Nevada's election results said that they identified dozens of voters, who listed their home address or mailing address as a temporary RV park and or a casino. Now, Pahrump is a place where, Pahrump is a little town there to the west of Nevada, where you could, I believe, a number of nomads, maybe even Cheap RV Living Bob. I think he lists Pahrump as his legal address, and I think some other nomads do the same thing. It's again, they may have some rented land spot or owned land there, and they have vehicles there, and as long as they can convince the post office that that's a legal address, put up a little, mailbox there, then, in many places, and I think we've seen a number of people use Pahrump and that particular county as their legal address, but dozens of votes. So they throw those dozens of votes out. I don't know if we're going to get any big change in the Nevada election. I think it's already been certified, but anyway, just interesting that that's being brought up in this whole kerfuffle regarding the allegations that our current president is making regarding voter fraud in the election. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, it's interesting to look at the western part of the country because those states that I mentioned, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, have all voted, all went for Biden. And then, of course, the upper Midwest, or the upper West, kind of upper Mountain West, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, all went for Trump. So, I don't know. And by big margins. I think Idaho, where our good buddy Nampa Nana is, they went heavily for Trump. I don't know. It's interesting to see what's going on here, but, more and more people are going to be using at least RV parks probably as their legal addresses in the future, and I think the states need to figure out how to handle that, in future elections. All right, folks, that's it for today. Quick one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, every Saturday, we have Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and 7 p.m. Eastern Time, happy hour. And we go watch Svengoolie on MeTV afterward. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Vlog Under.